Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm just jumping on here a little bit early so I can see how straight or crooked I am. And now I'm just adjusting it a little bit, moving some of the stuff from my messy desk so you can't see the mess. There we go. Now we're perfectly straight. Whenever I look at it before I go live, it's never perfectly straight because I can't see it that well on my phone. I have about 1 more minute, so I'm just waiting. If you're on and watching, if you could comment, that would be great. I'm looking forward so much to showing you this new mini album. I made it in the spring of last year, and that's this one. And we have a new baby in the family, so I'm making another one, and I thought I might as well show you all how to make one. So it might be a little bit of slow going because it has been a year since I put one together, but I got it all cut today, and we shall see how it goes. Maybe you've seen the video I put out for this, or the reel. This is how it opens. First it opens like this. And it's a little photograph album. Or scrapbook. Or junk journal. Whatever you would like to call it. Then it opens up like this. Then the next one opens up like this. Then this one opens up like this. And they just kind of keep going, alternating like that. And this last one opens up like this. I almost always forget the last one. So, this one is maybe more for a scrapbook for a girl. And I do have somebody in mind that's going to have a new granddaughter. So, I'm trying not to get this one messed up before I give it to her. But I've been flipping it and looking at it and trying to get it all correct for tonight. So it's 6:01, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Debbie Broughton. I'm your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri, which is south central Missouri. We're about an hour and a half north of Branson, or northeast of Branson, and about an hour to an hour and a half south of Lake of the Ozarks. So we're kind of right here in the middle in the Ozark Hills. Okay, so let's get started. I am first going to put this sheet down here, and you can take a screenshot of it if you want. We're going to do it like each one is an individual card, and then we're going to put them together. So we're going to start at the back with card A, just to kind of tell you how it goes. And I didn't put it, besides the black, and you can always change that also. I only had basic black in the 12 by 12, and you need a 12 by 12 sheet for the first card. So, and then I put myself a little index over here because I kept forgetting which one of mine I was supposed to be using. What was cardstock number 1, what was cardstock number 2. So I just made myself that little reference. So hopefully you've had time to take a screenshot, and then there's just one card on this side. For some reason my printer skipped the first line. So it's card G, and then it lists everything there for you. So I'll just leave it there for another 30 seconds or so to be sure that everybody who wants to can get a screenshot. And where I found this album is Christine Bertram had something last spring that was called Summer Fun. Actually, I don't think it was spring. I think it was maybe more like June. And so I took that class, and that is how I learned how to make this. So thank you, Christine. And I'm going to leave this one right here just so I can refer to it, because you have to remember how to put your DSP. Mine for this new one is not directional. And the one I used for this one, it is kind of directional, so I had to be careful because it doesn't matter when you're cutting it because it's a square, so it can go either way. But you have to remember how it's going to open. So for this first card, which is the A card, we have a piece of basic black. I have the two-tone black, but you could use regular black. Only I kind of like the two-tone because it's much thinner, and so it's not as bulky as if I had used cardstock. But you can use cardstock also. And this was cut at 6 inches by 12 inches, and it's scored at 6. So let's first start by using our bone folder. Let me reach for one here. And I'm just going to crease this. The more you crease it now, the more flat it will lay when you're finished. Okay. And then we have a piece of basic white, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. A piece of DSP, which I am using DSP from Hobby Lobby because I just wanted, this is going to be for a boy, so I got some boy DSP, or baby DSP. And this is going to be 5, oh, you know, I should have put, I always say this. This is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So this is going to be for, the white's going to go on this side. Here's my cardstock number 1, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I'm going to put this on here, which is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Although that's not what it says on here. Okay, so we're going to change that. The DSP should be 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. I didn't notice that when I was making it. Okay. So let's get these glued down. You know what? I have a brand new bottle of glue here, and I'm just going to use it and save these for when I'm making things on my own. Because when they get kind of empty, they get kind of annoying. So we're just going to add some glue here. So the only paper that you need that has to be 12 by 12 for this is this first color. And so that's why I got the two-tone basic black. Because to me it's a little thinner than cardstock. And it will make the album not be as bulky. Okay, and then this side we're going to glue again. There we go. I got enough out there. And we're going to get this centered here on this side. There we go. Want to be sure that folds nicely. Yes, it does. And then we're going to take this piece of DSP. And now, like I said, it doesn't matter with these feet because they go every which way. So I just want to be sure that I'm opening it up that way. So I kind of want it to be this way instead of this way, where the feet are going sideways. But it would work even if the feet were going sideways. So I'm going to center this piece in here. Let me just be sure that it looks even. Okay, now this one I had the paper, the DSP had flowers, so I cut them out and kind of decorated the corners. I'm going to think I might still go ahead and decorate the two corners of this later, but for right now, that's all we're going to do. So we're done with card number 1. So we're going to close this up. I just want to be sure I have this one. So this one's going to open up and down. So card B has cardstock number 2, which is Azure Afternoon. And it's going to go like this. And it's measured 5.5 by 11 and scored at 5.5. We have a piece of DSP number 2, which is my piece that says Baby Boy. So this one is directional, and that's why I'm being careful how I put it in here. So I have a piece of this, which is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of cardstock number 1, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, which means it's going to go down here. That is correct. And then I'm trying to decide. This will go, this black piece will go on the front like this. Let me just be sure that's correct. It's been a while, like I said, a whole year since I made this. So see, this is the purple, and it has a black on the top of it. We're going to figure this out. So this piece will go on the top like this. I didn't want to have to make one so I could practice and then do a video with another one. That's why I just waited to see if I could do this from memory. So I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to try not to get a glove like I did on that other one because you can kind of see it. But it's going to be covered up by the card on top of it. So we decided it's going to open like this. So we want our baby boy to be going across this way. And we're going to have this piece down here. And we're going to center this. And we're going to add this piece to the top. Can you see? Here's where I was talking about. I had that big glob of glue, but it's going to be covered up. But especially underneath DSP or this thinner two-tone cardstock, you can kind of see it when that happens. I perhaps should have got out my extra seal, stamp and seal, and used it. Okay, so that's card number, our letter B. Now we're going on to card number C, which will open up. Oh, I do think I did that wrong because here's a, so I put this baby boy is going to open up like this, but we're just going to have to live with it because I've already put it down. But that's okay. That's what I tell you. This is a little, this is definitely this one. It's going to open up and down. And this C is 5 by 10 scored at 5. The DSP is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So it will fit right here. And this piece here will go over here. Yep. So it will be a little bit different than this one. I could always, let me just see. I'm just going to cut another one of these feet really quick because I have some of that paper left over. I don't have very much of the baby boy, but I got 2 sheets of the footprints. So I'm going to cut it. This is what happens when you haven't made something for a year. So I found another mistake on my directions, and you'll have to correct it on yours if you took the screenshot to say that you need 2 of these. This is card number C. Let's see. And I need 2 of these. Okay. Let's get gluing. So we know this one's going to open up and down. So we're going to have our feet going up and down. Let me just see. Oh, I have to get up to get some Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to be really careful with my glue. Whoops, it moved a little bit there. Kind of shifted all the way around. Let's try again. Okay, there we go. That's better. I will redo my directions because I'm sure we might find some more errors as we go along when I was typing them up. Okay, and then we're going to have this piece. I need to do this with my bone fuller. This piece is going to go on the outside here. We're kind of getting the hang of it now. If you're watching, if you could comment, that would be great. I always like to hear from people who are watching. Okay, so that's card C. So far we have A, B, and we just did C, which opens this way. Now we're going to D, which opens this way. Yep. And D, let me just be sure this is the same size as that. Oh, how did I get so A, B, C? This is this one. Okay. So this one we're going to have open up. This one. We'll figure out how they open when we put it all together. So I do have 2 baby boys for this one, and they're going to go right in here. This one's going to go down here. These are not very hard to put together, and it's not even really that much to cut out. It goes by pretty fast. I need to move this one up just a little bit. Doesn't want to move. I had it down just a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, then we're going to put this balmy blue one on the front. We're going to put this on the front. It is a lot easier to do this too when you have DSP that doesn't have a direction, then you don't have to worry about how you're laying down the DSP. So now we'll to this one, which is E. Which this is 4 by 8 and scored at 4. So let's just see, yep. And we scored it at 4. We'll use our bone folder. And we have 2 pieces of DSP on the inside, and it's going to open up like this. So we'll get our feet going the correct way. I'm heavy-handed on the glue. I think it's because the last few projects I've done has been with glue that was almost gone, and I've been having to squeeze harder. Okay, we have this piece. We have this piece. These feet go every which way, so it doesn't matter really too much how you put them. Okay, we're done with that card. Oh, no, we're not. We have to put this black on the front here. And this black is three and 3/4 by 3 and 3/4, because this was 4. Another thing with the two-toned, you could even use two-toned for this cardstock, and then you could flip it over every time and have a light blue, you know, a light azure afternoon and a dark. All right, so now we're finished with that one. Now we are going to go with this one. Yes, we are correct. We're right on target. I want to do some flip-flaps in one of them, so I've got to figure out which one the flip-flaps will go in, and we'll be able to see how to do that. So this one has a piece of cardstock at the top and a piece of cardstock at the bottom. And it doesn't have another one on this side. So we're good. So we're going to glue this DSP, which I think is the baby boy one. And it's going to be going up like that, so we're going to have it go. And actually, if you got this going the wrong way, by the time they put a picture on there, it won't be as noticeable if you happen to get it the wrong way. Huh. I wonder why I have this piece. I think this piece is supposed to go. No. Because it shows that as being bubble bath, which is the... I don't know why I have an extra one. Let's see. For card F, this is 3.5 by 7, scored at 3.5. And I have a DSP. Oh, and another cardstock, so I could put it down here if I wanted to. I guess I just didn't want to on this one. I could have put a different piece. So we will put that in there. If later on I need to cut another piece of the Azure Afternoon to put on the outside, I will. Okay. And now we're going to do this last one, which folds out like this. So we're going to put, we have our insides here. We're going to put a piece of DSP on this side, which is going to be our feet. And then on this side is going to be another one of the feet. And then in the middle here, we're going to have, you see if all these are the same size. Let's put it a little smaller. Okay, that must, so this one must go here. Yep. This one goes here. And you can decorate these however you want on the inside, once you have them put together. So now I did my circle in Balmy Blue. It's going to go right here, right in the middle. And then I've already stamped this. And I use Stylish Shape for these circles. This is an old Stampin' Up! Stamp. It's still wooden, but I just love this saying for baby cards or baby scrapbooks, which I make a lot of sometimes. So I've just kept that set. I couldn't even tell you how old it is, but for sure it hasn't been around in a while because we haven't had wooden stamps in a while. So I'm going to put this. Now, if you wanted to put some ribbon in here or some other embellishments, you could decorate it however you like it. And so now we're going to turn this like this, and what I did for this is I have a piece of the Azure Afternoon. And I made these lines so that the mom can write the child's name, their birth date, their weight, their length, all the little things that are important. And I used the Just a Note stamp to do this with, to make the lines. It's a red rubber stamp. So it's going to be, if it hasn't already retired, it's going to soon because we're going to all photopolymer stamps. Just slowly phasing out the red rubber ones. So we're going to add this here. Then we're going to close this like this. This is how the top's going to be. We're going to get our bone folder to be sure we can maybe get this to lay flat. This one lays much flatter. That could be because I added that extra piece of cardstock in there. Okay. So on the front, we're going to have Balmy Blue. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put at on the front of this one. And so I might have to have more room. So I'm not going to put this piece on yet. Just because I haven't decided. I put those puffy flowers on that one. But I might find some trinkets in my scrapbooking drawer for baby boys and put that on this one. We shall see. So now we have A through G, how many ever that is. We have them all made. And that didn't take us too long. It took us about a half hour to put those all together. So now we are going to glue them, or put them all together. So we're going to open this up again so that we can tell. So we're going to flip this over because we're going to start from the back and work our way forward. We're going to take this one. It's going to open up like this. So that's all we really need to know for that one. And then the next one that we're going to glue on will open up like this. So this one's going to go on here like this. Then we're going to put that down. Then we're going to have this one, which is going to go like, yeah, because there's light blue on that. It's going to go on there like that. And then we have one that goes up and down, which is this one. We want to put it on there so our baby boys are going up and down. And then we have this one, which is going to open to the side. And we're going to have, this one that's going to open up to down, up and down. And then we're going to have this one that opens on both sides. We want to be sure that it's going to, that we put it in there the correct way, like this. So we'll open up like that. So now we have them all layered here, how we want them. Well, yeah, I'm thinking, it looks like I'm almost missing something here, doesn't it? Like my black is going to, maybe not. For some reason I was thinking it looks like it might need another coat, the light balmy blue underneath it. It does. It has the pink. Okay. So we know that this is 6 by 6, so we're going to make that be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Let me just think if I had that here. Yeah, cardstock number 1, 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, but I must have used it somewhere else in here. Oh, I used it to go with that. Okay. These are things that I'm just learning as I'm going along. 5 3/4. We're going to hope that this paper is big enough. 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Thank you for having patience with me. So far, we haven't messed up anything bad enough that we have to take the whole thing apart. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we don't. Let me just put this piece down here. I just keep wanting to check that I've got it going the right way. That's going to look so much better now when we put that next layer on there. Okay. So now we're ready for the next one, which is this one. And I'm going to use tear and tape because you're going to be opening and closing this a lot. So I really want it to hold. So I'm going to turn, just be sure how this one's going to open. And the next one's going to open up and down. Oh, see, we got that right. Okay, so we're going to open it up like this. Our baby boy's the right way. We're going to put some tear and tape back here. The only bad thing about tear and tape is once you lay it down, it's down. You won't be able to lift it back up. And really, glue does hold just as well as tear and tape. And then you get a little bit of movement in there. Okay, then I need my pick a tool, which is laying right here. I'm going to pick off these extra paper here on the back. I have a trash can a little trash can that sits right next to me here, so I can try to put all my scraps in it rather than I have a tendency to lay them on my table somewhere and then I even have more of a mess on my table than I need. Okay. We want this one to go up and down. I'm going to hold it up like this just so I can see better to get it layered. Since I'm using tear and tape and I won't be able to move it once I have it down. Okay, so now we have that one. So our next one is going to open up like this, which is this one. And it's going to open up like this. And see how we're keeping our colors? Black, balmy blue, azure afternoon, black, balmy blue, azure afternoon. duplicate tool. If anybody's watching, give me a shout out. Okay, this one we want to open to the side. So let's be sure we put it on there correctly. I'm going to hold it up again so I can see. There we go. Let me see these flip-flops. Flip-flaps. I keep wanting to say flip-flops. I think that maybe we'll do them here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in here. And I'm going to attach them like this. So this one's going to flip up here. And then this one is going to flip back down like this. And then it'll make like a little thing you can fit more pictures in there that way. So let's see which way do we want it to go. Do we want them to go this way? Or do we want them to go this way? I think this way looks better. I've never used these before. Well, I did make a card with these. So I'm just thinking I'm gonna put here, it's gonna glue down. And you can still get in there to put in your picture. So this next one has to be hooked down here. And this one needs to be hooked down here, I guess. Because this one's going to flip this way. And then, so, perhaps I should have thought about this. So if I put this here, this one will flip here. And then this one will flip here. Okay, we're going to say that's good. And we're going to see how it works. The only thing is, I'm not going to put it down to the paper yet, because if I mess it up, I won't be able, I'll have to start all over again. So let me get this piece of white paper off here. And I'm just going to put this down on the bottom of this one. Now that one will flip up there. And I'm going to put this one on the bottom of this one. This is a new thing we have. Because Stampin' Up! Got close to my heart. And so that's how we came to have these now. Because it's hard to see. I need to put something behind it. Because it's hard to be sure you're getting the end onto the end. How many times can I take the flap apart? So now let's see, you're going to pick this up and it's going to come out like that. You have a picture here, picture here, picture here. And you can also have a picture back here, back here, back here. Okay. So we think that's going to work. So I'm going to take this off and we're going to center this in the middle of the card, or in the middle of the page. That looks pretty good. Now, I know it doesn't look like anything spectacular here, but it will look really nice when you get to pull it out like this. And like I said, you can pull it out this way and show that side, or you can pull it out this way and show the top side. So, there we have it. The first time I used flip flaps. And I could take a piece of the Balmy Blue or the Azure Afternoon and just kind of like cover this. And I don't think about doing that maybe later. Okay, so what's our next card? Our next card goes up like this. And here it is. And so we have our baby boys are going to go the correct way. We need to put some tear and tape back here. Let's just see if we got this right. We want it to open up like this, so this is the back one. See, kind of like when you're making something with wood. Check twice, glue in place once. So that's what my dad and my brother say when they're making things with wood. Measure twice, cut once. Not sure what my dog is doing. All of a sudden I hear noises and he's moving around, jumping around. Which means he probably found something to get off the counter or the table. He loves paper. He cannot even leave an envelope laying anywhere. He will find it and he will get it. I think I got this a little crooked and I touched this corner of it. There we go. Okay, we're getting close. So now we're on this one. So it's going to open this way. And we have our, look, we did great. We got all our baby boys the right way. Our feet didn't really matter. So this one's going to go right here like this. No. Like this, because the black has to be on top. So let me put some tear and tape there. We only have one more left to do. We got the flip flaps in there. I was a little worried about those since I had never really put them together. I watched the Stampin' Up YouTube video about them today. I know that one kind of goes off, but I'm just going to kind of curl that back up on there when I get there. I just turn this tape over on itself. I will never get that apart. So it's going to tear it off. All right. I've had my Pick-a tool for years and years and years, and it's starting to not want to stay together here. The only one I have the this pointy part out. When I turn it around to the spatula side, it doesn't slip out. I think that's because I use this side so much. Now see how I have this little bit sticking out here? I'm just going to take my fingers and I'm going to roll it up there. One more piece. Okay, so this one's going to open up this way. I'm also going to try to make an envelope for this. I don't know because it's 6 by 6, so it's going to need to be kind of a big envelope. And this one's going to open up and down. So we're going to do it like this. And even though nope, that's going to look right. Okay. So this is the very top one, isn't it? The three-way one. So we want this one. We're going up and down. Now I found something to bark at. Not sure if you could hear him. He's way back in my bedroom, so it's not as loud as if he was out here in the stamping room or in the kitchen. Oh, we're almost done. So this one's going to go on here like this. Oh, I really like these blues with the black. Last one. And it's going to open up like this. So we need to put some tear and tape on the back here. This is be a nice baby gift to give somebody at the baby shower or after the baby's already here. Because moms always have so many pictures. And this way you can have this to have them all together and have something to show people when they come over. Lots of times I make a 6 by 6 baby album, which is very fun to make too. But I thought this might be different. All right, let's see how this is going to open now. So I put this on the right way. It's going to go on there like this. One last thing to put on here. I do need a blue to keep my pattern going. See how the black always laid on the... Okay. So, let me just measure. Oh, this is the second to last one. Yeah, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I think because I put it there. But I have more of that paper too. We put this over here so I don't. This one I cut wrong when I was doing one of the layers. 3 3/4. Is that what I said? 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this should go, because that definitely would mess up our pattern if I didn't have that correct. After all that, to mess up on the very last one. And it really doesn't matter how you put, you know, you could frame this with a dark blue or a black behind it too. That's all up to you, how much you want to add to it and things. So now we're going to put this on top of here. And then this one is going to go on here. I better be sure I'm doing it the right way. Almost so that these words aren't upside down. That would be something to get to the very top book and then have it wrong. So, crossing our fingers now that it will open correctly. We're going to open up this one, which opens up like this, right side up. Then this one opens like this. We got that right. This one's going to open like this, the footprints. Then we're going to open up this one like this. Baby boy's going the correct way. We're going to look at this. We have our flip flaps in here and our feet are the correct way. Here's baby boy again. And here's our very first page. Our last card, but the first one that we made. So thank you very much for putting up with me with this. And like I said, I will decide what I want to put on the front here. I might go ahead and put this little square on here too. I'm just going to see what I find to put on the front. And there we go. A girl mini album, a boy mini album. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.